Welcome to the Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Network, where we are building faith and transforming lives, where our senior pastor is the Reverend James I. Perkins.
Well, good morning and welcome to Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Straight Talk. This is indeed an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to even have a program such as this, to where we can communicate to different organizations or different directors and all the people that make up Lenore. You would think that just a very few people, but as I was sharing, this podcast has allowed me the opportunity to reach a lot of people and to share with you, our audience, as to what goes on in Lenore. And Lenore is a good place to live and a good place to be.
Amen.
So, you know, I could go on and on and on about Lenore, but I have a special guest with me this morning, and I am so delightful that she's here with us, and she has some good things and some things that probably some of us did not know. So she's going to share some things with us, and I have none other than Miss Katie Tocci.
Tocci.
I knew I messed that up.
Oh, we've been called all kinds of things.
Who is the Executive Director of Teachers Treasure. Mm-hmm. And the Teachers Treasure, is enough to get you on to think, and well, what in the world is a teacher's treasure? I thought it may be in the students, you know, but
and they are treasures.
Yes, they are.
They are.
But we go a little deeper than that. So I'm just going to allow Miss Tocci to share with us about what the teacher's treasure is. So, madam.
Well, I thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here with you,
Yeah.
but always exciting to talk about teacher treasures. For me, it's a labor of love. We are a small local nonprofit with a big heart, and we support Caldwell County Public Schools and their teachers. So here's just the general idea. I mean, people always say, well, how did you come? You know, how long have you been here? I didn't know you existed. So the organization is about 3 years old and was started out of a need that a very generous community member saw. So we used to have the school. Are you familiar with the school tools supply drive that we every August?
No.
Okay, so it's a big deal. The community comes together and donates school supplies every August. It's in cooperation with WSOC, Communities in Schools of Caldwell County, and obviously Caldwell County Schools. So in August, the community donates and we collect school supplies. It's fabulous. Well, where do those go? So in the past, they were provided to the teachers, but it was only once a year. Here's all the stuff we collected. There you go. And they took it and they put it in their classrooms, but come January, they don't have access to anything.
Okay.
So a family foundation called Our Family Legacy, actually the Ferguson family, got together and said, you know what, it would be great if we had a space for these donations to go, and teachers could, quote unquote, shop all year for free. Absolutely free. They don't pay a penny for anything at Teacher Treasures, ever. So we have this space, and all of the donations come there. And now we have an established organization, and we collect school supplies and funding all year to be able to house resources and supplies for our teachers and local students.
Okay. Well, how are the teachers selected, or do they just call and say, well, listen, we need supplies, or is there a system that is set up for each one of the schools to come in?
It's actually incredibly easy. So in the beginning, we started out, they made appointments to come and shop, but now we're a little more established, and we have volunteers working in our resource center regularly. We have regular hours, and the Caldwell County public school teachers, They just come during store hours at their convenience, and they shop. We tally up what they got, and they go on about their business.
This is amazing.
So easy. It is amazing that our community is able to provide that service.
Well, now, does this extend to students as well?
We actually don't service the general public.
Okay.
So we do have families who will call and say, you know, I'm raising my grandchildren, and they need backpacks, or they need notebooks. No problem. Who's their teacher? Okay, I'm going to contact their teacher, and he or she is going to come in, get a backpack, and fill it with everything that those students will need for their classes. Done. We have the mindset that teachers are able to identify the needs of students many times better than anyone else in their lives. For some of our local students.
Right.
So it is going into the hands of our local students through the teachers.
Yeah. Well, how do you, I guess, partner? It is a partnership with the school board or with the state of North Carolina in assisting the students, or are they regulations, restrictions, or anything of that nature that would limit to what you can and what you can't do as far as the teachers?
We currently have no restrictions as far as what we can offer them.
Okay.
Whatever we can get based on our funding, which is limited, but we are growing and growing awareness, trying to get more local businesses and organizations, foundations to support the organization. And everything that is donated is available to the teachers. So so we have a great relationship with our superintendent, Dr. Phipps.
Good.
He actually sits on our board of directors with many other community members. So those board members help us push information out to the teachers and the community. So in the beginning, we started out, they made appointments to come and shop, but now we're a little more established, and we have volunteers working in our resource center regularly with regular hours, and the Caldwell County public school teachers, they just come during store hours at their convenience, and they shop. We tally up what they got, and they go on about their business.
This is amazing.
So easy. It is amazing that our community is able to provide that service.
Well, now, does this extend to students as well?
We actually don't service the general public.
Okay.
So we do have families who will call and say, you know, I'm raising my grandchildren, and they need backpacks, or they need notebooks. No problem. Who's their teacher? Okay, I'm going to contact their teacher, and he or she is going to come in, get a backpack, and fill it with everything that those students will need for their classes. Done. We have the mindset that teachers are able to identify the needs of students many times better than anyone else in their lives. For some of our local students. So it is going into the hands of our local students through the teachers.
Well, how do you, I guess, partner? It is a partnership with the school board or with the state of North Carolina in assisting the students, or are they regulations, restrictions, or anything of that nature that would limit to what you can and what you can't do as far as the teachers?
We currently have no restrictions as far as what we can offer them.
Okay.
Whatever we can get based on our funding, which is limited, but we are growing and growing awareness, trying to get more local businesses and organizations, foundations to support the organization. And everything that is donated is available to the teachers. So so we have a great relationship with our superintendent, Dr. Phipps.
Good.
He actually sits on our board of directors with many other community members. So those board members help us push information out to the teachers and the community.
Well, when you do the fundraisers, do you have flyers? Do you have people going out? Or how do you organize a fundraiser? Or when is that on a yearly basis, or you have a certain time of the year that you...
So generally, as far as supply collections are concerned, we have our huge school tools event in August,
Okay.
Which is actually kicking off on August 4th. We'll have a community event at Teacher Treasures and invite people to come see the Resource Center. Seeing is believing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So be able to come and tour the Resource Center, meet other people who are involved, and pick up donation bins. So we have collection sites throughout the county. So we'll kick it off on August 4th, collect supplies for a week, and then on August 11th, we stuff a bus. So that's the big collection event. So we'll have a bus, an actual school bus, at the Education Center in Lenore, and then also one in Granite Falls at Fair Value. Fair Value is a great supporter of Teacher Treasures.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have 2 locations. People can bring supplies, and we stuff the bus, and all of those donations come back to Teacher Treasures. And then we also have a winter supply drive because inventory dwindles a bit, and so usually in February or March we'll do a winter supply drive.
You know, I think stuff the bus was a great idea. I don't know who come up
we're
with
stuffing
that,
it.
but I can about imagine. You know, how did you just come up with? Well, of course, the school bus is a good sign for schools, and to stuff the bus, how did you?
You know, I'd love to take credit for that. I would, but I cannot. So stuff a bus is something that communities and schools of Caldwell County and the Caldwell County schools have been doing for years. You know, I'd love to take credit for that. I would, but I cannot. So stuff a bus is something that communities and schools of Caldwell County and the Caldwell County schools have been doing for years, years before Teacher Treasures existed. And now we are fortunate to be able to partner with them and be able to be the distribution method for those supplies. And our community is so generous.
That's good. That's good news. Well, Community in Schools has been around for quite some time. And they are doing an exceptional job with our children. I was a member. I did that as tutoring for a while, and I don't know, just got out of it, but you know, I think it would serve us all to do at least a year of tutoring and just get involved with the schools and with our students and see what they're doing and how they're doing it. It was a great experience for me, and I try to encourage other people, but you know, it's kind of hard to encourage other people when you sit back and say, you do, when you're not doing. So that's me. You know, I thought, maybe I need to do that again. I don't know.
I will say, I mean, I know we're not technically talking about communities and schools, but I do sit on their board, their board of directors, and I am amazed at the good work that the organization does. And we rely on community members to mentor students. So many of our local students lack a supportive adult in their lives, and to have that connection with a caring adult who is checking in on them and encouraging them with school and their goals, and just letting them know that they are there for them, that is massive and can make the world of difference in a student's life.
And you know, with this Teacher's Treasure, that has bound to make an impact or an impression on a student's life. And I've never been a teacher. I've never sat in a teacher's chair, but I can imagine how difficult it may be. You're trying to educate and you don't have what you need to provide for these children.
You know, I think back to, you know, most of my career, I have had a desk job. And never have I been expected to purchase my own stapler or tape dispenser or highlighters, anything. I mean, pens are provided for you as a business. Do you have any idea how much teachers are spending average annually on their classrooms?
I have no idea. None. I would even venture to guess.
About $1,000.
That's...
Do you have any idea what teachers are making?
That's another I wouldn't dare to.
Not enough to spend $1,000 every year on their classrooms. It's not okay for them to have to spend that amount of money on resources for their classrooms And for their students, I mean, if a student needs a pack of pencils, those teachers are going to go out and get it. We have so many students, and the need is growing, and especially during the pandemic, the need was so much greater because students couldn't share couldn't share supplies. So they all had to have their own, and teachers were going out and buying sets. And it was such a relief for them to be able to come to Teacher Treasures and be able to get crayons, pencil boxes, composition books. And another thing, we actually have a whole room dedicated to books. Teachers will come and get books as incentives for their students, or for maybe students who don't have the means to purchase books to have at home. That's a big deal for them to be able to provide books for their students.
You know, I don't know, it's been several years back, I organized a after-school program here in the city, well, here in the community, and we used an old swimming pool where I learned to swim at, but it was so remarkable as to the response we get from community leaders or communities and businesses that want to pitch in. And we had volunteers, teachers, retired teachers, or just teachers in general. And it was an awesome effort, but you know, you run out of volunteers, and I was doing it really by myself, and I was running and then we had the lunches set up. I would go to Hudson every morning about 11:30, pick up the lunches. We'd come back, serve the lunches, then we go back into our classroom setting. But to your point and to what you're doing, we had every pencil, paper, we had everything that we needed, only because of people's donations. And the schools appreciated it. I worked closely with Davenport and Wesley North students. It was an awesome summer. But I can about imagine that Dr. Phillips and the school board is just really appreciative to what you guys do at Teachers Treasure. I mean, you know, that would be, hey, look, my door's open. What do you need? What do you need from us? So,
and even more so, it is extremely heartwarming when a teacher walks in and just say they have a student or a couple of students who can't afford a water bottle. You know, the sanitary reasons, the schools have changed the usage of water fountains and things like that. So many students didn't have water bottles to, you know, stay hydrated throughout the day. And these teachers are just squealing over the fact that they can get these types of things for free for their students. And I mean, it's emotional for me many times to, you know, I've had teachers just tearing up and they say, well, gosh, I just feel so bad about taking free things. And I said, this is for your students. This is good. Give it to them. If they need it, take it.
You know, it would take a blind man that could not see the passion that you project for what you are doing.
I love it.
I can see that, and it is so good to have people in our midst with this kind of passion for our students, because when you think of our children, look, where are we going to be 10 years, 15 years? These are the children that we are trying to raise up, that we are trying to instill in them some of the good values of life. And if the schools are not equipped and have what they have, then we're not only we're letting the children down. So you know, this is my first time meeting you, and it's my first time knowing about Teachers Treasure. But I'm just so glad to know that, hey, look, we are not left out, that we have here in Caldwell and Lenoir what we have to educate and to make our children, and to make the mothers or the parents, and especially the teachers, just make them know, hey, look, you don't have to do this. Old saying goes, we got you back.
Oh, absolutely. You know? We're here for our Caldwell County public school teachers. We're here for our students. The students are seeing that the community cares about their education. And we also have you've talked about volunteers a good bit. The store thrives on volunteers, and a lot of them are retired teachers because they get it.
Right.
But we've also had some responsible young adults who in Beta Club, things like that, who have come and worked in the store. And I think it's important for them to see the entire community's philanthropic duty to our public education.
Right.
And they're contributing to that.
Yeah.
I actually had a student in middle school drop by with a bin full of donations last week, and he wanted to do that as part of his Beta Club hours. And I was so grateful, but to have a student of that age say, you know what, I'm going to collect some supplies because I know other students need it.
That's great. You know, as we all know, when you're having fun and enjoying yourself, time flies. And unfortunately, we have a time limit. And I could sense
we that talk
you
forever.
That's what I'm saying. Usually he's pointing to me, but I can say, hey, look, it's not me.
Come on, Katie, come on. Enough.
but I think one thing we didn't get to, where are you located?
Great question.
I'm sorry.
Great question. So we have actually moved in August. We moved to a new location, and we are in the same building as the property shop on 321 in Lenore. So the address is 1248 Hickory Boulevard Southwest, Lenore. So we are, it's a very convenient location for all of our teachers, just straight shot on 321.
Yeah.
Right, right near the intersection where Lowe's Hardware is and the gas station.
Where you're at. I know exactly. Yeah. Well, that's good. And like you said, it's easy. You don't even I don't need a GPS to get there. You know, I need GPS to get through Lenore as long as I've been here. But thank you so much, Miss Tocci. We're
going to get it.
I know. Maybe we need to spend another 30 minutes for me pronouncing your name, Miss Tocci. But thank you so very much for your time here. And I'm hoping that the information that has been shared here, that folks can understand what we have here in Lenore and be proud of all of the resources that we have, particularly for our schools. So again, thank you so very much. And I'm here, and if I can be of any assistance, please don't hesitate to call me and say, look, I need this, and I'm going to be Johnny on the spot. So thank you again so very much for being our guest this morning. So unfortunately, this ends our session of Straight Talk, and I'm thankful for this. So continue to support us, continue to be with us, and drop a line or an email or a telephone call. My number is 828-729-5892 if you have anything to say. And listen, I'm either negative or positive. Whatever you got to say that's going to make us better. So thank you, and may God bless you, and have a blessed day. Stay out of the heat.
Thank you for tuning into another exciting segment of Straight Talk, where we get straight to the questions and answers that you would like to ask some of the leading people in Caldwell County. We look forward to bringing you podcasts that make an impact in our communities. So tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock, where we will bring you Straight Talk. We want to keep you informed on activities that are going on within our communities. Be blessed. We will see you next week.